The reason your RAM sticks are expensive is because South Korea is an economy that's basically living off of two country companies. South Korea's economy is growing. That's what the number says, 1.8%. Sounds respectable if you don't look too closely, but the only reason that number exists is because of one thing and one thing only: semiconductors. Inside South Korea, some economists actually have a word for this now. They call it, oh god, I'm gonna butcher this, please be patient with me, Bando che so chul chak she, semiconductor export illusion. And the fact that a term like this even exists should tell you how bad the problem is. Because without the chips, there is no growth. Not slow growth, no growth, maybe even sliding down, all right? Steel is in recession. Petrochemicals are in recession. Construction is in recession for various reasons. These aren't side hustles. These are the bones of an industrial economy, and they're rotting. They ain't getting enough calcium. It's a giant K. This is the semiconductor. This is everybody else. Oh, crap. There it is. Yeah, see, this is the semiconductor. This is everybody else, all right? So when people point to the GDP and say, well, actually, things are pretty fine, what they're really saying is that one sector is dragging the rest of the country behind it, and we're pretending that counts. This isn't an economy moving forward. This is an economy being carried. South Korea is not a diversified economy. It is a chip addict. Semiconductors aren't just an export category anymore. They are the export category. They are the profit engine, the stock market, the foreign investment story, the tax base, everything. And when your entire national economy collapses down to if this sector gets record growth, you stop making decisions for growth and start making decisions for survival. That's why Samsung and SK Hynix, the big two, are all in on enterprise AI chips. Not because they love innovation, not because they care about consumers, but because enterprise AI means tighter supply, fewer buyers, way higher prices, and even fatter margins. That's why consumer RAM is expensive. This is why gamers feel squeezed. This is why the money supply, or well, supply of RAM, apologies, stays mysteriously tight. Korea does not want cheap memory. Korea as an economy cannot afford cheap memory. It's a life support system instead of a market. And if AI demand ever slows down, not crashes, slows down, the entire thing starts shaking. Now let's talk about the part that nobody wants to touch because it's ugly: household debt. As of late 2025, South Korean households owe 1.34 trillion. Debt to GDP ratio is 89.3%. That means for every dollar the country produces, households owe nearly $1 back. It's essentially suffocation. This isn't people buying TVs on credit cards. This is families betting their entire futures on housing, because housing is the only way to survive in a system where wages don't keep up and prices never come down. And once a country loses, or my apologies, once a country reaches this level of household debt, you lose freedom. Monetary policy stops being a tool and starts being a threat. All right? And this is where the pain becomes immediate. A massive share of Korean loans are variable rate or mixed rate. Mixed rate being, it starts at a fixed and then it becomes variable, floating, adjustable, whatever you want to call it. It means when rates go up, people don't feel it in 5 years. They feel it next month. They feel it the next 6 months or whatever it is for Korea. My apologies, South Korea. Mortgage rates climbed into the 6% range in late 2025, and suddenly, millions of households saw their monthly payments spike. Not theoretically, not gradually, instantly. And when that happens, discretionary spending, aka disposable income, doesn't slow down, it keels over. People stop going out, stop buying things, stop supporting small businesses. And that ripples outward until the entire domestic economy locks up. This is how financial stress turns into social stress fast. Now here's the cruel joke, Okay? 79% of Korean household assets are tied up in real estate. People look rich on paper. They live in expensive properties. They sit on massive valuations. And they have no cash. Housing in big cities costs 3 times more than in smaller ones. So wealth concentrates, regions hollowed out, and young people get trapped. You can't sell your home without giving up your life, and you can't borrow against it without increasing risk, and you can't eat your house when food prices rise. This is a society where people are technically wealthy and functionally fragile at the same time. It's not a stable country. It's essentially a powder keg. Now let's look at the Bank of Korea. The base rate is stuck at 2.5%. It's been like this for 3 years now? Nearly 4 years now. The Korean won, is under pressure. The exchange rate keeps sliding. Any normal central bank would raise rates to defend the currency. But South Korea can't, because if they do, the debt bomb goes off. $1.34 trillion in household credit starts cracking. Defaults rise, housing stress spreads, banks get hit. So the central bank is essentially frozen. Raise rates and you'll implode households. Don't raise rates and watch the currency bleed. This isn't like a choice of policy, this is forced paralysis. Some economists say that 13 to 1400 won per dollar is the new normal, and this should terrify you. South Korea imports almost all of its energy. Last time I checked, it was around 98%, and most of its calories. I think it was 70% for that one. A weak won does not help here. It doesn't stimulate enough exports to matter. It just makes life more expensive permanently. And after massive tax shortfalls in 2023 and 2024, because guess what? SK Hynix and Samsung didn't make money. The government already had to burn reserves, specifically the reserves that kept the won in check, that kept the value of the won stable-ish. That means less defense, higher import prices, and no relief. A weak won in Korea isn't a growth strategy. It's not a global reserve currency. It doesn't have that many resources. It imports most of its stuff. It's just a slow bleed. This is a K, get it, Korea, K. It's a K-shaped economy in its purest form. At the top, you have, Samsung, SK Hynix, and the semiconductor cluster in Gyeonggi province. Billions invested, billions earned. Global relevance, record profits. And below that, you have everybody else. Declining regions, declining exports, suffocating small businesses, youth unemployment that should embarrass a developed country. The uncomfortable truth is that the survival of the entire country now depends on the handful of factories in one province. It's a single point of failure with a flag on it. It's essentially a Samsungocracy. If Samsung falls, if SK Hynix falls, the entirety of the South Korean nation falls with it too. All right? South Korea isn't riding the AI boom, it's living off of it. And when an advanced economy becomes this concentrated, this indebted, and this fragile, failure doesn't come slowly. It comes all at once when the one thing holding it together finally cracks. And that's the reality nobody wants to say out loud. Fun fact, guys, I'm pretty sure the president of South Korea pledged to triple AI spending. So we'll see how that goes. But anyway, if you like this video, give me a like, give me a comment, give me a subscription, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Also, I call this the works cited page, but I don't really fucking cite my works. Anyway, I'm out. See you.